I have always been the safety net for my family. My brother Julian is the golden child who can do no wrong despite having the financial literacy of a goldfish. I, on the other hand, spent 6 years working 3 jobs and living in a studio apartment to build my $250,000 medical school and housing fund. Since my grandfather set up the account when I was a minor, my parents remained as emergency cosigners. I never thought I'd need to worry about that. 3 months ago, my mother called me screaming. She said Julian had been arrested in South America while on vacation and was facing 10 years in a foreign prison unless they paid an immediate legal fee of $250,000. They didn't even ask me. They drained my entire account in one afternoon. When I found out and went ballistic, my father told me to think of family over money and that my medical career could wait. But Julian's life couldn't. I was devastated until I noticed something strange. Julian's prison location on Find My Friends, which he forgot he had shared with me years ago, showed him at a 5-star resort in Dubai, not a jail in South America. I spent 2 weeks digging. I found out there was no arrest. Julian had lost $200,000 in a high-stakes underground poker game and told my parents he was kidnapped and arrested, so they would pay his debt without judging him. My parents knew the truth, but they helped him lie to me because they didn't want me to refuse to help if I knew it was just for gambling. The welcome home party for Julian was held last night. My parents were crying tears of joy about their survivor son. When it was time for toasts, I stood up with my iPad connected to the big screen meant for the family slideshow. I'm so glad Julian is safe from that prison, I said. But I was confused about how the prison had an infinity pool and a Michelin star room service menu. I swiped through the slides. I showed his GPS history in Dubai. I showed the credit card statements I recovered showing he spent $15,000 on bottle service the same night he was supposedly in a cell. Finally, I played a recording of a phone call I caught between my mom and Julian, where she said, "Don't worry, Riley thinks it went to a lawyer. Just act traumatized when you get home." The room went silent. Julian's trauma vanished, and he started screaming at me for invading his privacy. My father tried to grab the iPad, but I had already emailed the evidence to every relative in the room. "Since you three like to share my money," I told them, "you can also share the legal consequences." I filed a police report for fiduciary fraud and identity theft this morning. Since the account was specifically a medical trust, their unauthorized withdrawal for a non-emergency is a felony. My parents are begging me to drop the charges, saying they'll pay me back, but they have no money left. I told them they can sell their house to pay me, or they can see if Julian's Dubai skills can help them in a real prison. I'm done being the family's bank.